What is up, y'all? If you're new here, my name's Cameron, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And in today's video, we start off by digging up some fiddler crabs, and we managed to catch a whole bunch of them. So then we took those fiddler crabs, headed to the seawall, and did some sheepshead fishing off the rocks. Make sure to stay tuned for the catch and cook part of the video. Thanks for watching. All right, well, we just pulled up to the seawall, and we pulled up to 61st Street Pier. We've got a couple rods, and we got Kevin right here, ready to catch some fish. So let's go ahead and head out here. We're gonna start on the rocks before the pier. And if we don't catch anything there, then we'll go on the pier and see what's going on. Let's get after it. Okay, so we're just gonna start under the pier right here. We got ourselves a live fiddler crab. Y'all check that out. That is your #1 bait for sheepshead, with that signature big old claw on them. Got a little octopus hook, a couple split shots, and a crappie bobber. We're gonna start by floating these things. All we're gonna do is hook them from the belly, like that. We're just gonna go at the corner. This is gonna keep them alive, and it's gonna keep our hook exposed. Oh, look at that. That is a good looking bait. Let's cast out next to one of these pilings and see if we can catch. Oh, right out of his mouth. Oh, we just missed our first bite right there, guys. We actually moved to the side because we weren't getting any bites under the pier. Let's grab another fiddler and try again. So I just broke off my last rig, and unfortunately that is just part of sheepshead fishing. You're gonna lose some rigs because you're fishing close to structure. If you're not getting snagged, you're not really sheepshead fishing. But I did go ahead and retie a bottom rig because they seem to be closer to the bottom. Kevin has caught 3 so far, and he's using a real long leader on his popping cork. So let's try a bottom rig. And this is just asking to get snagged, but maybe we'll catch a fish before we catch a rock. Oh, there we go. Got him. Oh, that thing feels heavy, dude. It's a nice sheepshead. There we go, y'all. Finally got bit on the fiddler. I missed like 2 or 3 fish already, and now we got a nice one. The trick is how we're gonna land them because nobody here has a net.
We could bring him here with a weight.
Dude, that's a nice one. Oh, he's down under a rock. Come out.
That's the biggest one of the day.
And he's rubbing my leader all up. I'm glad I tied a long leader, but even then the 20 pounds not gonna hold up, y'all. We gotta try to get this fish in quick before he rubs me off on all these rocks.
You want me to grab your leader?
We might be able to. Oh, he broke off.
On the hook.
Man, my hook snapped off. That was a nice one too. Wait, they have a net. Oh, let's go. There we go, dude. This guy popped off and he was sitting down in the crack. And luckily these guys behind us had a net. And Kevin dipped it down in there and just scooped him up. So there we go. That's a nice sheepshead. Big old sheepshead right there. It's always good whenever you don't have to measure them. So we're gonna go ahead, throw this guy in the cooler and try to catch some more. It's #1 though. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all again what we're doing right here. So we have our whole bucket of fiddler crabs. Just gonna reach in there and grab one. Got a little guy. I've just switched up to the single drop rig because they weren't eating it on the float. You can take a circle hook, a straight shank hook, a little live bait hook, an octopus hook, take it and run it down through the back corner of the crab on the belly. Push it through gently and out the top. And that's gonna keep that crab alive, and those fish are gonna come up and eat it. Let's go ahead and cast it out. Okay, so we're just gonna walk down here on these rocks closer to the water. And all you wanna do is cast out right on the other side of the rocks. That is where those sheepshead like to hang out. They love structure, so cast right on the other side, reel in your slack until your line's tight, and all you do is wait for those little taps. Whenever you get one, tighten down and set the hook and you're on. And it usually doesn't take too long. Whenever you find a school of them, you can catch a bunch real quick. So let's see if we can get lucky here. Got another one right here, y'all. So that one's a little small right there. It probably is right at the 15-inch keeper size. Circle hook right in the corner of the mouth, and he's healthy and not gut hook. So we're gonna go ahead and pop that out and get a release on him and see if we can catch a bigger one, because this one's not really worth it to take home. Okay, let's walk this fish down here and throw him back over. Send him back down there with his friends. Bait back up and try again. We got a couple fish, let's try to get a couple more to take home. So we're back at the house now. We're about to clean up this big old 20-inch sheepshead. So sheepshead are not as hard as everyone makes them out to be. You just go right down the backbone, just like that. You can see there's a little pocket right next to the fins, kind of like it was made for your knife. You just push in there, and just follow that all the way up into the head, and all the way back down to the tail. Perfect. And then once you do that, you can just peel that over. There's a nice little place you can grab it. You just run your knife deeper and deeper every time, peeling that meat away from the backbone. Okay, once you get most of your meat off the backbone, come in here, cut the head, make sure that's cut through, and then flip your knife over. And this is what I found makes it real easy. Under the skin, push, under the skin, push. And just like that, super easy. As you can tell, I kind of hit the stomach right there, but no worries, we're not gonna be eating that. So we're gonna rinse off our knife. And whenever this happens, guys, which eventually it will happen if you clean enough fish, rinse off your knife, give the fish a little rinse, and then, I mean, that's just gonna be on that stomach meat, and we don't eat that anyway, so it doesn't really affect the rest of it. So just keep on going. We're just gonna go up and over that rib cage. Just like that. You're just gonna keep following it around. And then we're just gonna go down here and complete that cut to the tail. Just like that, we have ourselves a nice big old sheepshead fillet. So we're gonna go ahead, take this off the skin, rinse all that stuff off, and then we'll see you in the kitchen to cook it up. All right, y'all, we are back in the kitchen. It has been a long time since we did a catch and cook, but I got my two big old sheepshead fillets right here, super thick, and these things are gonna be great baked in the oven. But before we get into the recipe, I wanted to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is the Panacea Meat Thermometer. Now, they say a good cook does not need a thermometer to make sure their food is done, but I definitely disagree with that, because I think that a thermometer makes it so you get perfectly cooked food every single time without a doubt. Now, I will talk more about this in just a minute, and I'm obviously gonna be using it today, so I'll show you exactly how it works. It has a really cool Bluetooth app that you just connect to your phone. But for now, let's go ahead and get right into the recipe. So we're just gonna be making some baked sheepshead with some garlic butter, garlic lemon butter type of thing, and I think it's gonna be really good, something I've never made before. So what I've got right here is some onions and garlic laid in the bottom of the pan, and we're just gonna go ahead and lay our fish on top of that. That should be good. And then in this bowl, all I have is some Dijon mustard, a little bit of garlic powder, and then we're gonna squeeze 2 lemons in there. And this is gonna be what we pour over the top of that fish and kind of make a little bit of sauce. Unfortunately, I don't have any heavy cream, but if you did have heavy cream, you could add that in here as well. And that would help to thicken it up and also just make more sauce altogether, because who doesn't like a lot of sauce, right? And then right here, the last thing we're gonna add in is we have about 1/4 cup of butter. So throw that in there. And then we're gonna pop this in the microwave for about 15 seconds. We're just trying to melt that butter, and then we'll pour it over that fish, throw the fish in the oven. We got the oven set to about 350, and once that meat thermometer goes off, it'll be time to eat. All right, check that out. That's what we're looking for right there, a good consistency. That's gonna be perfect poured over that fish. But before we do that, we do need to go ahead and put our Panacea thermometer into the fish. So of course, you got the little probe right here. It has a line showing you where you need to insert it into, and then it has this little remote, if you will. We're just gonna go ahead and turn that on, hold down the power button. And right there, you can see you have the temperature that you're going to set your food to, and then you have the temperature that the probe is reading. If we hold it in my hand, you can see that the probe is gonna start going up right there Doesn't take too long, already shooting up like that. Now, if you don't want to Bluetooth this to your phone, you could just use it straight off this remote. You can set the temperature that you want your food to be all off of this little handheld device, and it has the alarm built into it as well. This is the app right here. You can see it has a bunch of different options. You have your fish, your pork, your chicken, beef, all the normal stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead and click on fish, and I want my fish medium. Anything over that and it can start to dry out. Anything under that and it's not gonna be flaky enough, and I don't want some half-cooked fish. So we're just gonna click confirm, and now our probe is ready, set to 145. Let's go ahead and stick it in. So you wanna stick the meat thermometer in the thickest part of the fillet or thickest part of whatever you're cooking, which that seems to be right here. So we're just gonna all the way in there, just like that, to that point. And that's ready to go in the oven. The last thing we have to do before we put it in, of course, we're gonna hit it with a little bit of seasoning, salt and pepper. Always gotta salt and pepper your fish. Then most of our flavor is gonna come from this awesome little sauce right here. So we'll dump that on top. That's perfect. As this cooks in the oven, those onions are gonna melt down, that garlic is gonna combine with the onion, and it's just gonna get nice and sauteed on the bottom there and release all of that flavor. That's gonna be delicious. So, hey, now we just get to hang out, go watch some TV, do whatever we wanna do, and whenever my phone starts going off, it's gonna be time to eat. We'll see you in just a minute. I'm sure y'all can hear that loud beeping going on right there. The fish has reached over 145 degrees. We're at 147 now. Let's take our fish out and let's take a look at it. There we go. Perfectly cooked, white flaky fish, I can already tell, and it looks good. I'm excited to give this a try. We're gonna let that cool for just a second, and while that is cooling, I wanna tell you a couple more cool things about that meat thermometer. So, first of all, this is rechargeable, so no changing out batteries. It just has a little charging port. Give it just a couple hours to charge, and you're set for at least a few meals. And the final thing I wanted to say about it, which is what I believe is the coolest part and the most beneficial part to a digital meat thermometer, is that you don't have to just come over here and check every 10 minutes whenever your timer goes off and poke the fish and make sure it's done, or go check whatever you're cooking. This thing is gonna let you know whenever your food is perfectly cooked. So let's go ahead and get our plates ready and serve this fish up. We're gonna take some rice. You can eat this meal over noodles, mashed potatoes, really anything, but we're gonna stick with rice. And then come over here and get a good old chunk of fish. Get some of those onions on the bottom, right on top. Y'all check that out. Look at that. Perfectly cooked, flaky, white fish. Gets no better. And I know that's a pretty plain looking plate, but guaranteed that's gonna taste amazing. So let's try it out. And sheepshead is one of those fish that gets a bad rap. A lot of people throw it back, they don't like it. They think it's hard to clean, they think it's really bony. And back in the day, they just didn't think it was a good fish. But I can tell you, this is one of my favorites. What I will say though, is that sometimes you get one of those off fish that just doesn't taste right. Like it'll be super, super fishy and not good at all. No matter how good you take care of it, throw it on ice immediately, bleed it, whatever. But most of the time it's really great, so. Nice little bite right there, fish, rice, everything. Let's give it a taste. This is definitely not one of those bad fish. That was an amazing bite. I want to just give a big thank you to each and every one of y'all for tuning in and watching the vid. I also want to give another big thank you to Panacea for sponsoring today's video. Y'all make sure to check them out. I'll have everything linked in the description down below. Head over there, pick you up a digital meat thermometer. That thing is seriously a game changer if you like to cook. I know I'm gonna be using it pretty much on every meal from here on out. It just makes cooking really simple and it takes all the guessing out of it. You're 100% sure when your food is done and you know it's gonna be perfectly cooked every single time. Once again, thank you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not already, and if you are, like always guys, I thank you so very much. Until next time, peace.